this button right here, press it. Subscribe to the channel. Shalom.
Little sisters who over here walking around with the same issue. You got to overcome that so that you can be an example to them. So that you can give them the healing that they need. Because they might not listen to me because they know I ain't never been through that. But you, come on, sis. You the example. Read.
Because their hearts depend on us. Depend upon us.
Because they what depend on us?
Their hearts depend upon us.
Their minds are broken and they depend on us to be that strong example. Because you know why sisters a lot of times don't like wearing their natural hair? Because it affects their self-confidence. Because they're the only one doing it. And so they walk around with a lesser feel for themselves and they can't really pull it off no more. How is it that you falling so low that we can't pull off being ourselves no more? You're going all the way to Africa to find yourself, but you done found it right here. You understand?
That's right.
So give me that. I want to show you something real quick. You said you're married, right? How long you been married? 9 years. All praises to the Most High. You know how rare that is in our community?
That's right.
Give me Hebrews, man. Give me Hebrews. I want to show you something what God says about what you're doing. Because you're doing some things right. You're doing many things right. But we got to get back to... I'm going to let you go. You got some kids hungry? Oh, that's what you bought the Mickey D's? Okay, for sure. Let me read that.
Hebrews. I got it. Yeah. Hebrews 13 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Marriage is honorable in all.
So when you get married, sister, you are honoring yourself. You're not another jump off that's letting another man sleep with you and then have baby put his kids in you and not commit nothing to you. That's a low self-worth that sisters do that. That goes back to you being that example. Because how many of our sisters do you know that's married? Count them on one, count them. I mean, count them up. Can you? It's all bad. So now you the oddball out for doing what God says. Look at how our world has been turned around. But read that.
Marriage is honorable in all.
The black woman will never be honored until she honors and values herself and holds off from the sex and puts marriage first.
Right.
That's why the first word of this holy scripture is what?
Marriage is honorable in all.
No, it didn't say sex.
Marriage is honorable.
We put sex before our honor. Therefore, we dishonor ourselves. And we dishonor our God. And we dishonor our nation because what is the core foundation for building a nation? It's the family.
That's right.
And boyfriend and girlfriend is not a family. You understand? Read.
In all. And the bed undefiled.
And the bed, how you doing, family? And the bed, your bed is undefiled. 90% of everybody else, God's gonna judge them in their bed. Why you think the black community got all the STDs? Why you think we leading in all the different worst AIDS and the worst diseases?
Right.
Even COVID, even cancer, hypertension, high blood pressure, all of these things we lead in. Why? Because we don't honor ourselves. Read.
But the whoremongers and the adulterers, God will judge.
That's why your friends are getting judged. By doing what? By growing old and having nobody to be with. That's a scary thing. Leviticus 11. So we have to understand. I'm gonna let you go, but I forgot about the. I didn't want to forget about the dietary law. Do you eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster?
No, I recently stopped.
You stopped. So what made you stop?
Because I was gaining weight. It wasn't digesting really well.
Right. You know what it was doing? Why you think?
And also, I read something in the Bible that I shouldn't eat.
There you. I like this.
Animal parts.
Well, you can eat animal because you just gotta eat clean animals.
It's supposed to be fish and vegetables.
We gonna
That's
read
right.
Yeah.
it. We gonna read it for you.
I said I read some of it, but not all of it.
So you gonna know. Let me get verse. So did you used to eat? Did you? What?
I ate everything.
You ate everything. Okay, let me show you this. What about your husband?
No, he doesn't.
He does. What does he eat? Does he eat? He's vegan. Okay, cool. Read that. Verse 7.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And the swan.
Let me start at verse 1.
Verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses
Uh-huh.
and to Aaron, saying unto them,
This is how you don't get cursed. Read.
Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are upon the earth.
Because the Christian church will tell you that you can eat whatever the hell you want. It's all good in Jesus, but it's not. The dietary law was already stated in the beginning, and it follows through all the way through the Bible, through Timothy and all of that. Keep reading. Read verse 7.
Verse 7.
So there's beasts that you can't eat and can't eat. Read that.
And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
So chewing the cud, what makes a pig unclean and a cow clean? Well, it's a filtration system that the cow has inside of it, right? That it chews the cud, so it has multiple different stomachs. So it'll eat the grass, it'll chew it up, and then it'll digest it into one stomach. It'll come back up, it'll chew it again, digest it into another stomach, and it has a filtration system to make sure everything that it eats gets cleaned and purified. Therefore, the animal is clean, right? The pig doesn't have that. The pig will eat anything. It'll eat you. If a dead body's in the pig pen, it'll eat it. And guess what? It doesn't have a filtration system. What it has at the bottom of its hoof is a hole where that pus comes out. It's disgusting. It actually has worms in it that literally will eat away at your body over time, right? So the pig is not food. How you doing, sis? Hey, sis, do you eat pork? Hey, big bro, y'all eat pork? Do you know that that's not food? Pork is not food. Nah. It's an unclean animal. It was never meant to be eaten. You can eat chicken, beef, lamb, but pork is not food. Now, keep reading.
He is unclean to you.
So the pig, the swine is unclean. Read.
Of their flesh shall ye not eat.
Of their flesh you shall not eat. Read.
And their carcass shall ye not touch.
You shall not touch it to eat it. Now, keep reading. Give me the fish. What about in the ocean? What's in that? Is that pork in that? Is that bacon or what? Okay, don't feed them no bacon. Don't feed them no pork. You understand? How old are they? 17. So you got to teach them these laws so that they don't get corrupted and they don't fall into sin, because sin leads to what? I got to show you that. Read that. Sin leads to death.
Verse 9.
Sin is death. Read.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
So God made laws for the water to show you what is clean in the waters and what is not clean. Read.
Whatsoever hath fins and scales.
So the fish, if you're going to eat it, has fins and scales. Now, let me ask you, what kind of fish do you eat? All of them, right? You like catfish? Your favorite is catfish, right? All right, check this out. Do catfish have fins and scales? Or do it have fins and skins?
Bring it out.
It has fins. It has skin, like human skin have skin. It don't have scales. So is that clean or is that unclean? It has one. That's unclean.
That's right.
But guess what? You can eat salmon. You can eat cod. It's a whole list of fish that you can eat that have fins and scales that taste way better that you probably haven't even tasted. That tastes way better. Have you had steelhead trout? Your husband got some sense, sis. Your husband, I think you, man, I want to meet this dude. I want to meet this brother, man, because he's not eating pork. He's telling you not to eat catfish, and you already doing all right. But you said that you stopped eating pork because it was making you gain weight. So we got to talk about that. So you said it was making you gain weight, right? With that,
Gained weight, I couldn't digest my food.
Right.
Make you get sick.
right? Because it wasn't that you was gaining weight; it was that it was causing inflammation in your body. You know what I'm saying? Inflammation is the #1 cause of disease. So it was actually your body was rejecting it because it knows it's not food, right? So now all you got to do is kick that catfish, because that catfish is a bottom feeder. So it's like a trash can of the ocean, just like the pig is a trash can of the land.
That's right.
You got to kick that. Exactly. Keep reading. Keep reading. But here's the thing. There's better tasting fish out there. I don't like catfish. It tastes like dirt. It tastes like the bottom of the ocean. I don't like myself. It tastes weird to me. There's other clean fish that taste so much better that I'm kind of a connoisseur when it comes to those things. I'm sure you haven't tasted some of those great things yet, but it's coming in the future. Read that.
Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers.
So do crabs, shrimps, lobster have fins and scales? No, they don't. Shrimps don't. Shrimps, crabs, lobsters, those have shells. Those ain't scales. Them is shells. That's why they call it shellfish, crustaceans, right? So what are their job in the ocean? To clean up the poop and all of the gunk and all of that. So now man has went ahead and said, you know what, we're gonna turn that into a delicacy. We're gonna start bringing those out of the ocean. Now you look into the bay and it's green. You look into the Bahamas, it's see-through like it's supposed to be. But now it's green because all of that gunk is what they were supposed to be down there eating. Now you're eating it, wondering why you got all kind of problems. Shrimp, crab, lobster, oysters. You eat oysters? Nah. Yeah, it's all, man, listen. Absolutely, and in the shrimp. You got that little line that's be up in the shrimp, that little, yeah, you take that out, but still, guess what? If its job is to, you are what you eat, right? So if its job is to eat garbage and you eat it, then you eating garbage, right? So you have to so that's what we have to understand. First, we have to understand that God is looking out for us because he put things in the earth that is good for its purpose, but it's not good for us to be eaten. So he's saying, huh? Job 14:4. Job 14:4. I love that. You can't make an unclean thing clean, right? So we have to understand, we have to come back to God's laws.
Is you on YouTube? Yeah. The ladies came to your house?
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's a mighty man.
I saw that.
That's a mighty man right there. That's a, hey.
It said the title was they came to the row house or something like that?
Knock on the room door, something like that.
Knock on the room door.
Oh, yeah,
I
okay.
saw that.
All right, all praises. That's a mighty man right there. That, you don't want to, okay. Let's go, let's read that.
He had them messed up.
Yeah. That would,
Witnesses, yeah.
that, listen, if I was one of them, I would never want to walk in. Read that.
Job chapter 14 and verse 4.
Read that.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean?
So it don't matter how you season it, how you take the little poop thing out of it, how you clean it, it don't matter. Because at its core, it is unclean. It's in the filth that it eats is in every aspect of it. Now here's the thing. Read that again. I'm gonna show you something interesting.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean?
So that also pertains to spiritual things as well. Let me ask you this, sister. The scripture says, who can make a clean thing, who can make an unclean thing into a clean thing, right? Where did we get Islam from? Because you said your husband is Muslim.
I don't know.
You don't know, right? And your husband, I used to be Muslim, right? I didn't know. You'd be surprised how much stuff that you don't know about your own religion when you in it, right? So let me go ahead and show you something real quick. Let me get at Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64. So we have to understand that Islam has nothing to do with God and the laws of God. We went into a slavery in they're called the sub-Saharan slave trade, right? Read that.
Deuteronomy 28, 64.
Read.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people,
From
the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
This is the sub-Saharan slave trade. Where the Arabs at? There you go. The Arabs had us in slavery just like the white man. Did you know that? And through that slavery and captivity, we ended up becoming Muslim after them at the threat of death. They would kill us, and they were killing us. And that slave trade was so crazy because that was the one where they were castrating the men mostly, and then sleeping with the women. It was crazy what they did to us. It was horrible what they did to us. So they said, read that again.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Because, read. The Lord shall scatter us among all people in slavery on those cargo slave ships, read.
From the one end of the earth, even unto the other.
From the eastern hemisphere to the west, read.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
And when we got to those lands of our captivity, we would serve other gods. What gods? The gods of other nations. So we served the Arabs in slavery, but we also served their gods. That's how we became Muslim, right? Give me that in Joel. Read that.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Our fathers never knew anything about Islam. Talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Our forefathers never knew anything about Islam. Islam was created in 622 AD, meaning after the death of Christ. But the Bible says in Genesis that Abraham was a friend of God. Abraham, all the way back to Abraham was a friend of God. But he never knew anything about no Islam or no Muhammad or none of that. But we was already good with God. So how the hell do we, after Christ dies, now a new religion comes up called Islam, and we start following that? Give me that in what?
Even wood and stone.
Even wood and stone. How do we identify this religion? Wood meaning what? The cross, the wooden cross. What are the two most popular religions on earth? Christianity, that's promoted by a wooden cross, which they put Christ on, and the stone, read that again.
Even wood and stone.
So what is the stone? It's the Kaaba stone that you go around 7 times and you pay your Hajj and you make your pilgrimage in Mecca. That's their custom. You understand? So it's funny that you've been married to this man for 9 years, but he hasn't told you nothing about his religion. He hasn't taught you nothing. That's good. He shouldn't be interested in his religion because it's not his religion. I'm going to show you what our religion is. Give me that in 1 Maccabees. 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 21. I'm going to show you what our religion is because we follow after everybody else's religion but ours. And what is that? 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 21. Read that.
1 Maccabees chapter 2 verse 21. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
God forbid that we should turn away and stop keeping God's laws and ordinances. Read.
We will not hearken to the king's words. To go from our religion.
To go from our what?
From our religion.
So what is our religion? The keeping of God's laws. That's it.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is you nation is men leading by example.